we are. Everybody, welcome back to another edition of Hop on Calls. I'm your host, Kevin Hopp. As always, going live, making cold calls. That's what I do. But I got with me today, Ryan Pereus. Welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me back, man. I wasn't sure what was going to happen after that first time.
Dude, I think you came
glad to
on
be
and
here.
set a meeting. Did you set 2 meetings? Or
I did. I just didn't want to embarrass you a second time, So I wasn't sure.
Ooh,
Yeah.
damn, a little shit talking to start it
Yeah.
out.
Well,
I love it. I love it. Ryan
it's heating
runs a
up.
business called Superhuman Prospecting, and you do a few other things. Ryan, if people aren't familiar with you, what do you do?
Yeah. So I'm the CEO founder of Superhuman Prospecting. We do outsourced cold calling, appointment setting, and sales development services. We're US based. We're smaller, have about 45 people. But then on the other side, I have a consulting company around cold calling specifically. And some other areas that it's branching out to, but it's called the H to H method, and just released a book on a cold calling method this summer called Trust Call.
Trust call, much like
Maybe.
trust fall, but we're not trying to fall.
No one's falling. Actually, that was going to be some of the imagery on the front cover, but then we just said we don't use that metaphor at all during the book. So let's
Really?
check out of that one and just put a little phone cord at the bottom of the T. Stick with that, or the C.
There you go. That's a little bit better. You
So,
don't want people thinking it's a book on trust falling. That would be
yeah.
book. Nice. Well, I love it. You are my East Coast brother from another mother here. I'm in San Diego. You're in Philly. You also forgot to mention that you run a semi-professional soccer team. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, and we did talk about that a little bit before. Philadelphia Heritage is an amateur semi-pro team. The Philadelphia market for soccer is really big, so a lot of opportunity for those guys and gals who want to continue their career past youth or college and kind of bridge the gap between that level and professional. So fun times, and we just won our first qualifying game in the Open Cup, which is a national tournament, and technically we could play Lionel Messi. So we'll see what happens.
I hope that doesn't happen for you because I think you would score 100 goals on a amateur,
Yeah,
on a half amateur team.
I think the dream is better than what would actually, come to fruition if we did
Yeah,
play him. So let's just keep it that. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Awesome. Well, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor today. Hop on Calls is sponsored by ConnectAndSell. It's not a platform, it's a weapon, a live conversation weapon. We're going to be using it today. We're going to be hit and go. You're not going to be able to hear both sides of the audio if this is your first time tuning in. That's for legal compliance reasons, but you can hear both sides of the audio by going to the podcast. Hop on Calls is a podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. We edit out all the PII, all the stuff that the lawyers don't want us talking about live on air, and put it on the podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to be calling salespeople, sales leaders, having conversations with them about what I do. Ryan, what are you pitching today?
I'm doing the same thing. I'm pitching for Superhuman. I have 2 different campaigns that I'm going to be calling for. One is a kind of our standard outbound call services, but then I have another campaign that I'm calling for, which is kind of a newer market that we're getting into, which is more of on the B2C side, which is kind of close loss leads with remodeling companies, which seems to be a need. So I'll be switching back and forth, see what happens.
I love it. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it, man. Let's hit go. I'm going to hit go on my side. Let's see if we can't get some conversations.
Cool. Yeah, this is the tortoise and the hare, totally. And I've actually not really used a ConnectAndSell tool. Well, actually, we did pilot something similar, but I certainly understand it's like rocket fuel. It's like NOS.
That's right.
So, got to be ready. I hear it takes training.
It's the good stuff. That's for certain. So talk to me a little bit about when you guys are making, you mentioned B2C is an angle that you're kind of moving into here. B2C, is there not like a whole nother world of like regulation around who you can and can't call?
So the big thing about the B2C market is that you have to be careful
Oh,
with.
hey, this is Kevin with HCG. Kevin, how are you? Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, my name's Kevin Hopp. I know I caught you kind of out of the blue here. Did I catch you with a minute to have a live conversation, or are you busy? No, 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 no. You don't know me. This is what some people might call a cold call. The reason I was reaching out to you specifically here, I saw your heading up sales operations at Rimini Street. Is that so accurate? Fantastic. Well, I actually run my own consulting firm, Hopp Consulting Group, and I help B2B businesses have more live conversations with prospects in their target market through a range of different consulting services. Wasn't sure. Do you have a team that's going outbound these days, making live calls? Okay. I figured someone who's in operations would have a focus on enabling kind of the sales team to go outbound. And generally, I'm an expert on auto dialing platforms, on sales acceleration tools. Would you be opposed to scheduling some time and we could talk about your tech stack and talk about ways that you guys are doing outbound? Okay. Okay. That makes total sense. Not your team. Okay. So if you were me and you were trying to bark up trees talking about outbound sales, what tree would you bark up? Do you have a name for me? Okay. Okay. Nice. I got her name down. Okay. Betsy Stevenson. Nice. Okay. Do you happen to have a direct number for either of them? That's a yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. It's just it's good practice to ask. All right. Well, I totally get it. Oh,
There's a lot going on here.
okay. For Heather? Yeah. Okay. East Coast lady. 3621. Fantastic. Now, last question for you, Kev, before I let you go. Um, I can either let them know that I had a quick conversation with you, or we can keep this our little secret. What are your thoughts? All right. Awesome. Well, Kev, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to talk to a stranger. Some people say cold calling is dead. I disagree. Bye bye. Okay.
Evan, what the heck happened in that?
Dude, that was rad. Okay.
Yeah. So there was that middle segment where he just went off for a while, and I was like, I have no idea because you're not like preparing any real responses there,
No, he was just
and then it
talking and
took a
talking.
corner.
He's just going
Yeah,
and going.
but like what? What did he say?
So here's what he said. I brought up what I do and all that, and then he said, "Yeah, so it works a little differently here." And then he proceeded to tell me their organizational structure and like what they have going on and why
Oh
he's
wow.
not the right person to talk to. He gave me two names, and then he gave me
Mm,
two phone numbers.
that was great. I heard that at the end. You said something about barking up the tree, and I was curious if you could repeat that
Yeah,
whenever you get a
yeah.
chance. Yeah.
Oh, one of the things, yeah. So I like that metaphor. I like metaphors in general because if you're using a term like barking up the tree, that's very like kind of colloquial. It's very like relaxed. So people are
Yeah.
more
Right.
likely to be like, oh yeah, sure, you bark up a tree. I'll help you bark up trees, whatever. They think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
dogs.
Casual.
So the line that I use is, hey, if you're me, and you're trying to bark up a tree to talk about a certain subject, what tree would you bark up? And they know what you're asking. You're
Right.
asking, who do I call next? And he knew
Right.
exactly. And part of what he was doing there was he's like, yeah, all right, hold on 1 second, hold on. And he like took like 5 minutes to get me the
Yeah.
phone numbers. But then he's like, all right, you ready for the phone numbers? Here it is. Bink, bink,
Yep.
fire.
Yeah. That was good. That was great. I like that because it takes away from, the directness of what you're asking to make it feel salesy. And it's like, of course, I'm looking for somebody, and here's a fun way of saying it, and kind of takes it, to a level of, you're kind of just, shooting the breeze with this guy, and he's just casually giving you information. That was great.
Uh,
The question I
so,
liked though too was, do you have a team, um, something outbound? Do you have a team making outbound?
yeah, are you doing this?
That was great.
Um,
Good
That
question.
I mean, that's a great qualifying question because I find that I you can build a nice list, and I built a nice little list here, but you even some B2B companies are, kind of giving up on outbound, don't have an outbound team. Like you can't call and say, "Hey, I want to help, coach and train and develop your reps." They're like, "We don't have reps."
Right.
Last time,
Yeah.
last hop on calls, I talked to a guy who's like, "Yeah, we don't have any outbound. We don't do any of that. We're just channel aligned. We're all like
Mm.
older dudes that have channel relationships." And I'm like, "All right,
That's when you say, I know this great company who can start a department for you. And then, we work out like a partnership deal.
dang,
See,
that maybe that's what I do. Maybe
think
that's what
things
I
are
do."
happening. Things are happening. All right. I'm going to call this guy. This guy actually, I called yesterday when I was training for today, and I got him on the phone, and he's like, no, I don't want to buy anything. I was like, well, I understand that. I haven't had a chance to tell you, what it is we do, and maybe we could help you. Would you be open to a conversation about that, at a better time? He's like, well, I'm hopping on a plane. Call me tomorrow.
Okay,
So it could be a little dicey. So
not
but I think I should go for it.
not necessarily a cold call, but let's see how it goes.
Should I skip it? Will this not
No,
count?
no, do it. No, do it. Do
Okay.
it.
I
Do
think
it.
it's more risky than doing a cold call. I'm more nervous about this one.
You
All right.
don't need to be
Let's.
nervous.
Oh, butterfly. Pressure makes diamonds. I want it.
That's right. That's right.
Chris, this is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We spoke yesterday briefly before he jumped on the plane. Does that ring a bell? Cool. How was the flight? It was long. Well, I'm glad you made it back. So I had called you briefly. We do the cold call appointment setting for companies like Buckeye Automation, and I was just calling originally just to see if you have a team right now doing outbound, or if you've considered anything like that before to help you grow the rest of the year. Twice your capacity for the year. Good for you. You've turned down more. Okay. Well, that sounds like a, a great problem to have. First of all, congratulations. And it was actually one of the reasons why we're calling a lot of folks in your industry, because we did see there was a high level of interest in automation robotics companies like yours. So that's awesome. How do you typically get your business? Is it from word of mouth, or do you have a sales team? Been in business 20 years. Hundreds of companies. Gotcha. Understood. Y- You guys spread like wildfire. Yeah, so engineers leave, and then what happens is they recommend you to their new company. That's the best word of mouth. W- Yeah. Yeah, no, that's okay. Uh, Understood. Well, that's no problem at all. Maybe what we could do is stay in touch if you're open to it, because if there's a moment that's a downtime, it might be good to maybe call back some of those folks who are waiting or current customers. And this is just really about learning how this could help if the time were ever right. Are you open to at least staying connected? Okay. Okay. Well, that's good for you. Yeah. Well, what's your email if you don't mind? If that's all, at least we can stay connected, and just in case. And if you move on, then someone else could take over and have another resource available. It's okay if not. Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably. Well, congratulations on the retirement. No, yeah, and congrats on the growth. It seems like you got it tight. So, well done. All right. Feel better. All right. Bye now. Bye.
All that time for a guy who's retired, he should be on the golf
Hey,
course right now, man. Why is
I
he
know.
a cold call?
Hey, exactly. People just can't get off the phone with me. They just love talking to me, even if they don't want to be there. What
I
can I
can
say?
see why.
No, no, that's BS. No, no, no. He, look, automation robotics right now is blowing up, and so we work with several right now who are looking to grow, and it's gangbusters. Product relevance is a huge part of how we identify the best folks to work with, and how we are confident in a product that our messaging can be a good conduit for in setting appointments and leads. And sometimes this comes up. They have projects for 2 years or more, and they have don't even have enough capacity right now.
Yeah.
So what else
Wow.
do you say? Like, I'm curious, because he kind of got me. So I'm like trying to
So
find every angle. Well, when you're ready to grow, we could be that person. Or yeah.
the other angle is, hey, as a successful business owner who's over capacity, I'm sure you know other people in your industry that are focused on growth
Yeah.
and are not as fortunate as you.
Yeah, that's always been my weakness, is referrals on that cold call. That's great.
Yeah, man, that's why you're here. I'm helping you
That's
learn.
why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Man,
I'll write the chapter in
rookie,
your next
rookie
book.
mistake. Yeah, yeah, I like that.
I'm back in the queue,
Please.
by the way. So if I connect, I connect here. So we had a question from the audience, which was, oh hey, this is Kevin with HCG. John, how you been? I'm all right, but look, man, I'm calling you out of the blue here. Did I catch you at the minute to have a cold conversation, or you heads down something else? Fantastic, fantastic. So, like I mentioned, my name's Kevin Hopp. I actually run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I work exclusively with B2B sales teams that are focused on having more live conversations with their target market. Is that something that you guys are working on, or do you guys have an outbound team at WorkWhile? All right, so you guys are crushing it. Plenty of conversations, overwhelming amount of pipeline, things like that. Or love hearing that, John. If you don't mind, I'm going to send you a LinkedIn connection request, and we can connect there. Because I know. Oh, you were at Career Builder for a while, huh? Nice. I worked with Ben Goldberg for a minute, so him and I go way back. Oh, no way. Awesome. Well, good that we connected here. Sounds like there's not really an opportunity for any optimization when it comes to outbound for what you guys do at Workwhile. So I'll let you go. Cheers. Look,
Hey,
you got.
everyone's just doing amazing. Why didn't you do a referral request on that one? It just was like a quick exit of a call.
Yeah, and we know similar people on LinkedIn. I pulled up his LinkedIn really quickly, which, by the way, for everyone out there, if you're not pulling up people's LinkedIn when you're on the phone with them, huge missed opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He heard very clearly what I was calling about, and he said that's not anything they have trouble with. I did the crazy statement, right? Sometimes I call it the crazy statement, which is you guys are drowning in pipeline. Oh yeah, da da da. And what people normally say is they say, well, there's always room
Right.
for improvement, and that's kind of what I was looking for. And then I would
Right.
ask more qualifying questions around people, process, and tech, and what he's doing. But he was like, "Yep, yeah, that's not a problem for me." So categorically, if you think about like, what am I trying to do with cold calling? I'm trying to find people that have outbound sales and meeting, generation pipeline. That's like one of their top 5 problems that keeps them up at night. Like it's got to be in
Yeah.
their brain. So if I call you and I say, hey, are you working on any of that? Is that anything you're working on? You say, absolutely not. I'm killing it. I'm not going to push them out. I'm not going to like bend the guy over on it. I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. We're connected on LinkedIn now. I know that this number connects to John. And
Hi, I'm looking for Scott or the person who's in charge of sales development there. Is that Scott Sheffer or is that somebody else? I'm calling from Superhuman Prospecting in Pennsylvania. This company's in Pennsylvania. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm on hold.
oh, you're on hold.
I'm on hold now. So she answered. I was calling right after yours.
Yeah, no worries.
I wish I could have you guys hear this hold music. It's the classic meme one where you dance to it and it's like
Yeah.
pretty good. Slaps. So how long do y'all wait on a hold line? That's what I want to know.
Well, I use ConnectAndSell, so I don't ever sit on hold. Life is too short to listen to the phone ring. Everybody see this
But
shirt? So if you're using technology, you shouldn't really be waiting. Also, I would only. All right, let me put it. Here's a
yeah,
scenario
Steve
where.
is. Do you know when Steve will be there? Excuse me, Scott. Do you know when Scott will be there? Okay, no problem. And what was your position again? You're the accountant. Okay. So probably don't deal too much with sales development. Okay, but Scott would be the person. Okay, so I'll call back for him. And what was your name again? I'm sorry. Nicole. Thank you so much. I know. All right. Nothing happened. Go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
There's a scenario where I would call, and that is if I was told by someone that knows this guy's schedule, or so here's a scenario. I've gotten an email before saying like, yeah, that sounds interesting, let's chat about it this afternoon. I'm free after 3, right? And the only number there is like a direct to a gatekeeper type situation. I'd call that and say, hey, yeah, Bob asked me to call, you
Mm-hmm.
know but that's kind of the only scenario where I would have the patience and think it's worth my time to like wait on hold, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I get you. I think especially if you have a big market, and there's lots and lots of contacts. That's brilliant. I love that. If sometimes we get these like smaller lists where someone's like, we have 100 or 500 contacts and that's it. That's our entire market. So it's like kind of sometimes have to go through the hoops. And if they're like, hey, they're in, you get to the gatekeeper and they're in and they pass you off. I guess it's a kind of a different strategy, I guess, in some ways, because sometimes these gatekeepers end up being somebody. That's why I asked. Like if she was like, oh, I'm in marketing, well, maybe we can open up the door a little bit without realizing it. But who knows? Who can say?
Who can say? How often are you guys finding that you can call a main line and someone's picking up that's not like an auto attendant or something like that?
Well, it's funny, like our top 10 SDRs for the year, there's generally a correlation between those who have a high appointment setting rate or high lead setting rate and those who have high decision maker conversations, right? Because, feasibly or, you would guess that the people who have more connects have more opportunities to have an appointment. And so, um, it's a good question. I think it depends on the type of company, type of phone system. Some people can navigate them and get to the right person. It is slower though, for sure. You know, definitely not as fast, but the conversions can be higher. So it's sometimes hard to know. But certainly, if you have lots of contacts, going through as many as possible, getting to decision maker quickly is best thing.
There you go. There you go. Well, I am back in the queue here. So the other thing, like you had asked, why didn't I go for a referral on that? The
Yeah.
other thing that I know about my persona, like people in this list, it's all people that are either vice president level or above, and they're not all just like sales leaders. Like,
Hi, Art. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We pro- yeah, yeah, we provide cold call appointment setting for automation companies, and we're just giving you a call just to see if you have an outsourced partner right now to help you make calls to generate more opportunity for you, or if you've considered anything like that. Okay, thank you. Now, so you must be doing well. I'm getting a lot of that, where a lot of companies like yours are kind of over capacity. Is that the case for you right now, or is it a different reason? Okay. Okay. How many are in your market, if you don't mind me asking? You said it was smaller. You have three potential customers that you can reach out to? Makes sense. Okay. How many people are at those locations? Is it just one contact? Thousands at each one, though. Okay. Gotcha. Are these government entities or not disclosed? Got it. Gotcha. But that's all you need, it sounds like. Um, okay. All right. Yes, it is. Yeah. So about 7 years. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, just trying to hustle. All right. Otherwise, we'll all work for the government and it'll be nothing. That's right. So yeah. Hooray for private small business. All right. All right. Thanks, Art. Talk to you later. Good luck. Bye. Dang it, I forgot to ask the referral question. What am I doing?
you're
He
too
was
busy
blowing
getting.
smoke. This guy was complimenting like what I was
You're
doing, and I
complimenting
like
you,
did
yeah.
he got me. I'm not used to positivity. I don't know what to do with it.
You're not used to positivity. That's
No, this guy's like he's like first of all he's like I have he's like we're not really going to be a good fit. It's interesting. I like what you're saying. I was like, okay, well, how big is your market? He goes, three. I said, excuse me, you said three companies? He's like, yes.
Wow.
And so he didn't disclose. He wasn't willing to disclose who those companies were, but he said that it had thousands of employees each. So this is automation company. Maybe it's Amazon and Walmart or something.
Yeah.
And why would you need anybody else if they're feeding you? But
Yeah.
then he just started asking me like, is this your company? And then I just froze.
Yep. No, when I heard you say, yeah, 7 years, I was like, oh, he's patting your back. He's patting your back. I've
Yeah,
also,
that got me. That stunned me.
I tell,
I'm not used to that.
it's trying to, when people try to poach you on the phone, it's the highest measure of success. I feel like I've had
You
it
think
happen.
so?
I've had it happen over a dozen times in my career on a cold call where someone goes, wait, you're good at this. How long you been doing this? Do you want a new job? You want a job?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
yeah, dude, I do consulting. Let's talk. And then they go, oh no, we just want to hire you as an SDR to grind all day for 45K a
Uh,
year. I'm like,
yeah. Nope. It's better. Hey, you're right. That is a better compliment than when they say, "Go get a real job."
yeah, that does
Yeah.
happen too. That does happen
But I
too.
like those. I actually feel like I get a little bit more spicy with that one rather than I don't freeze up as much like I do with this. So I don't know what I prefer.
Look,
Anyway, thanks, Art. He's a nice guy. Good for him.
onward and
Should have asked for
upward.
referrals.
Yeah, I'm in
He
the
has 3
queue.
potential customers.
That just means that he just does account management, right? Like sometimes you can just nail some big accounts and you got business coming to you left, right, and sideways, and it's just your
Right.
job. Like you could make a nice little, very profitable business on 3 customers that you just
Oh,
in, you know?
yeah. Especially if they have thousands of employees, that's no small to mid-size
Yeah. Like what if Google
clientele there.
called you and said, hey, we want Superhuman to run our inside sales? You'd be like, cool. That's like that's
Yeah.
gonna be like 40 agents, 50 agents full time, you
Might as
know?
well make me a W-2 and partner.
Partner. There you go. Some stock options.
There we go.
That'd be nice. All right. Well, I'm running
This
on
is a
my end.
wild market. Yeah, this is a wild market. This is my first time calling automation and robotics. We have several customers in the space. That's why we decided to make a list for it.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I don't really have much experience calling this. I'm finding that it's interesting when the market is flooded. You're experiencing that too, because it's almost like you see the market has shifted the last 5 years. It seems
Well,
like this.
you
Yeah.
know what I get? Sometimes
Yeah.
what I get, not very often, but I get the oh yeah, we use an outsourced agency that does our meeting setting. And I'm like, oh, they're making cold calls. They're like, no. They just do LinkedIn automation and email. And it works great. And I'm like, cool. If you have a massive total addressable market, like you can get a lot done with cold email and LinkedIn automation. I mean, let's be honest here, right? Like
Yeah.
you can get a lot done, but that well will run dry eventually. And there's a lot of negative brand impressions that come from like the high volume of messages that people do. So
Mm,
I still advocate for having an approach that utilizes phone,
right.
but you know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's harder to. I think it. Like in any mass communication channel, you're going to have those, like you said, those were negative impressions, but uh, it still seems that cold calls aren't as frequented as cold email and cold LinkedIn. So it still seems a little bit of a pattern interrupt, generally speaking. I can't say that for everybody. Looks like I see this question here from an investment perspective. Wouldn't only 3 customers make for a risky business? What do you think
very
about that?
risky business, Stephen. Very risky business. You do not
Yeah.
want customer concentration is a huge red flag when people are valuing businesses, evaluating and
Oh,
putting
when you're looking
value.
to sell, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it doesn't mean you don't take those. Maybe you just keep growing your base, and it's just like you got this windfall potentially, and obviously smack that everywhere on your website if that makes sense.
yeah. Well, I think it can also be true, and the thing that no one wants to hear that is a reality is not every company's looking to grow. Like, not every company's looking for more and more and more.
Right.
So In that case, like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you got the best appointment setting game in the biz, the best tools, the best consulting. No thanks, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Steven. I mean, to that point I just made, like, could be, but he could also just be like, look, dude, I got my 3 customers, and if he's the owner, he knows his margins on it, and he's making X amount of money, and he's working X amount of time. A lot of small business owners will look at that and be like, I'm good. I make my 300-400K. I work part time. That's what I do. Like, I don't want to turn it into a big sprawling enterprise. I don't want to get more customers. I don't need to grow like that. So that comes down to the list, right? That's like who you're reaching out to. If you reach out to like venture-backed organizations, they're gonna say, we need more. Not only do I need more, but I'm way behind my pipeline goal. And I'm a VP of sales. I got hired because I'm buddies with the CEO, but I haven't sold anything in 7 years. Get a lot of that.
Hi, I'm looking for Jason Taylor or the person in charge of sales development there. Is that Jason or is that somebody else? Right. Oh, you're contracted by the government. Okay. Do you have any other customers or is that the only? Okay, so you don't need to have a team that helps you grow right now with new sales. Okay. All right. What was you're at capacity. What was your name? Missy. Okay. Missy, I appreciate that information. So we help automation and robotics companies grow. We have several customers in the space. We do cold calling and appointment setting. And so I was just calling to see if that would ever make sense, even if you're reaching out to current customers or things of that nature, to do outreach. They reach out to you only. Okay. All right. Well, congrats. That sounds like a great position to be in. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. You too. Bye bye. Okay. I didn't ask for the referral one because she was kind of a gatekeeper. I did think of it, but she said so I did get some information, and the reason I kept going with it is because she was asking me questions. And that's usually an indication we train our team that if the seemingly gatekeeper is asking you questions, what does that typically mean about their knowledge or insight into what's going on in the business?
That's right.
Typically means they know something and they're involved at some level.
They will
So might
know.
be more than a secretary.
That's right. That's right. Particularly if you're calling small businesses, which it sounds like you're calling, smaller businesses. Like, they might be big with revenue, but maybe
Yeah, it does
smaller
seem like that.
side. You
Yeah.
never know.
Seems that way
The
right now.
the receptionist might also run accounting. She might also run half of operations. So she will have a good insight into where the problems are in the business that you can then, you know, focus on. So
Right.
good job
And
keeping that.
sometimes Oh, thank you. I would say that sometimes, if I can get enough information or it sounds as if she has some level of autonomy or authority, I would try to set an appointment with that person because it might make sense that, the final decision maker would want me to talk to that person anyway, or that person could champion it for me. You have to be careful with that because you don't want to waste time or energy doing it, but that's kind of what I was fishing for. But it sounds like they only do work with the government and the government calls them. So once again,
That's tough. That's tough. Being at the mercy of the government.
being at the mercy, but it seems like they seem satisfied. This is so strange. Um, Although so a couple of our team members have been calling on this campaign, and I've had a couple of really good appointments, um, hour-long demos, and we have a couple of proposals out from the last couple of weeks from this list.
Look, small
So
sample size. Only had like 2 or 3
it
conversations.
does. That's true, but it does seem like in the future, the next list we do in this space, we'll want to make some adjustments for sure. I don't want to be calling these every time.
Yeah. I get it.
Calling Flavio.
Flavio. I am on my side.
Flavio.
The dialer's running.
Hi, is
Connecting
this Flavio?
coming.
Flavio, this is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We provide cold call appointment setting for supply automation robotics companies in the US to help them generate more leads and appointments. Do you have an outsourced team right now cold calling, or have you considered it to help you grow? You can barely keep up with what you have of customers right now. Hmm. Interesting. Can you share with me a little bit more about who your customer base is and how big it is? 600 customers and mostly tier one to automotive. Okay. And so you said you're having a hard time keeping up right now. Do you ever go through kind of sales seasons at all or marketing seasons to generate more opportunity for when the time is right, when you slow down? Okay. Do you have a team? That makes sense. Do you have a team that does outreach to your customers at all just to keep in touch with them or connect them with an account manager? It's 80% by contract. Okay. Uh, Yeah. How many are in Mexico versus in the US of your customers? Okay. So there's sounds like there's some opportunity in the US potentially in the future from an e-commerce standpoint. Got you. It's more complex. Gotcha. How can you drive more people to your e-commerce page in the future? That's interesting. Okay. And you're the CEO there, correct, Flavio? Okay. Well, congrats on the growth, first of all. Just to give you a little background, we are an USA-based cold calling and appointment setting company. We have USA-based W-2 team members that do outreach and uh, can conduct surveys and set appointments on your behalf so that you don't have to. And so the whole idea of my call was just to see if you'd be open to learning a little bit more about it. At least you could have some information for when the time is right and we could stay connected. You'd be open to that? Okay, and can I confirm your email? I do have F as in Flavio Marquez, Marquez. Awesome. So that sounds good. Would you be, since we're on the phone right now, and I know that you seem pretty busy, would you be open to maybe a 15, 20-minute call in the next week, and we can just kind of review some of the things, and that way you could have in your back pocket? Yeah, no. Send you an email, work on it. So, okay, so about to hear from you in the next week or so, or 2 weeks. It's okay to give you a call maybe in the beginning of October. Is that all right? That would be great. Okay, I will send you some info and look to connect with you there. All right, thank you. Bye now.
Send him some information. Follow up later.
Yeah,
What's
but
your
I'm
success
so
rate on?
unsatisfied.
Yeah, what's your success rate on a
I,
play like that? The whole yeah, not right now, maybe later.
I would say that I try not to judge the customer.
Okay.
Um, I think sometimes it's tough. You just have to prioritize your time. Uh, I hope that we can maybe play that one back. I want to have anyone hear this because I feel like we had a good conversation and he wanted to open up. He has a lot of customers right now, but he's looking to open up a side where he wants to um, have his potential customers or customers have access to their e-commerce site and get that going more in the US. And so there'd be kind of an appointment setting aspect to that. And so, that's possible in the future. And so he was like, yeah, we can certainly talk about that. I'm open to learning about it. And I tried to set the appointment and he said, I'm, out the next couple weeks. And I probably could have tried to set something, but I didn't hardcore close that one. I just kind of let him say, send me that. He confirmed his email. Some people would say that's a brush off. I don't know. I don't know what's in his mind, and we just maybe instilled a little bit of belief that maybe he didn't have before this.
It's I mean, at the bare minimum, right? It's a positive brand impression, right? He heard superhuman prospecting. He talked with you. You weren't pushy. You weren't a sales guy. He didn't smell your commission breath coming through the phone. The odds of him replying back to you and actually communicating with you are a lot higher. Now, it's outbound sales, so the odds of him replying to your email are very low. He'll see it and hit red and move on, maybe. Assuming, what's he assuming? What's something safe to assume that he is assuming about you?
What's something that's safe that he's assuming about me, that I'm gonna follow up and want his business at some point? He's assuming I won't.
You won't.
There we
That's
go.
what most people do. If you get called out of the blue by someone and you're like, yeah, whatever, like send me an email. Like they're assuming you won't follow up. So you have a chance to differentiate yourself by following up. Be like, hey, what's up? I told you I was going to follow up. I'm following up. I'm right here. Let's talk.
That's great. Yeah. So watch out, Flavio. Yep. You're going to get that follow-up, Flav.
Big fan.
I'm okay. I'm all right with that one. Any feedback on that one? Because man, these are sending me for a twist. I'll tell you what. Because they're just so far off of what we typically deal with. This is like new objection creation territory.
I mean, if they're not looking to grow, then they don't have a problem that you can solve, right? The other angle,
but we did get into that where he said we are, because a lot of his customers are in Mexico and we don't call there, so that's why I opened up that conversation. How much do you have in the U.S. and are you looking to grow here? And he said, actually, yeah, we are. We wanted to go to this side. We've just been so busy on the other side. So it was kind of a new, it's a new conversation. It seems like to him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Look, I would actually follow up with him, like send him the follow-up email. Maybe if it's a high enough priority and you made enough of an impression, he'll reply. But I'm just saying, in the aggregate, from all the cold calling I've done in coaching and training, 99% of the time, prospects don't reply to your follow-up email with something thoughtful because they're assuming you're going to let it go too.
Right.
Because he didn't call you. You called him. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. Oh, hey, this is Kevin with HCG. Danielle, how are you? Ooh, you know what we're about to do here? The double tap. Heard my name.
You gotta hang up.
So I'm going to call right back and say, hey, I had phone trouble. I'm calling right back. And they're going to be like, what? The ball's on this guy. Why is he?
No, you don't.
And I'm just going to say,
I just hung up. Now you're in trouble.
Come on, Danielle.
I wish there was like a little segment pop up like in a game show where it was like double tap time and the whole screen flashed and like ooze came down or something. Maybe in the future, in the metaverse. Can you call from a different number? I don't know. Maybe that's aggressive. Maybe we're on the line here.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's something that
she's in my list. I don't need to force the issue. I called her back. She did not pick up. Next time I call, I will call from a different number.
Okay.
All good.
And that's the question. We say at H to H, that the idea is to maximize performance without losing trust. So it's never black and white. It's not always black and white. It's always a question of what's the best thing to do. Are we hurting cold calling by calling from a different number and saying that? Or, is that an opportunity to help somebody out when they were originally rejecting us?
I think, I go off of never assuming, right? I don't know about you.
Yeah, right. I like that too. Don't judge a customer.
On the double tap, you catch them and they go, "Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. We had something going on." Like they genuinely didn't mean to hang up on you, and they did, right? So if they don't say, hey, I don't know you, take my name off your list, don't call me back, we call back. You call back and you always assume the positive. Always assume the positive of like, hey, they just hung up on accident and we're catching them on a different day, different time, different, get them back.
Yeah. What about the triple tap? What do you think about the triple tap?
I don't like that. That
That's
to
too
me
far?
is a bridge too far. That's moving into annoying zone.
Exactly. I feel that like that too, somewhere in there. Somewhere between 2 and 3, it's off.
Yeah. I saw an article, what was it, 6-7 months ago about some SDR saying that that's how he's having success is triple tapping. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna you're making it harder on the rest of us. To your point,
On the
Ryan, of like,
on the rest
are
of
we
us.
hurting? Are we hurting cold calling? Yeah, dude. If you call someone 3 times in a row, because put yourself in that prospect shoes. When's the last time you got 3 missed calls from the same number in a short period of time, and you were happy to pick up the phone? You weren't like, "Ugh," right? Like I'd be pissed. Like who the f are you? Why the f are you calling me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Quit
that's just
calling
spam.
me.
Then I'm like setting that to spam. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Spam.
All right.
I want Apple to do this, but I also don't want them to do this. But like if they had like when the number comes up on the screen, if I could click one button and never get called from that number again, it'd be nice. Because right now I just hit reject call and then I go to my last calls and you click info and you click block caller. And I do that all the time because I, like everyone else, have my cell phone number
Hi,
already.
Alex. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting. We do cold call appointment setting for fabricating and automation companies. And I was reaching out to you because we have some case studies I'd like to show you in your space regarding some lead gen and appointment setting success, similar to SCA. And just wanted to talk with you about that. Could you call me back? My number is 267-571-4546. First
Oh,
voicemail of the day.
it's a little VM. I thought you were
Yeah,
pitching.
I was pitching his voicemail. I got right to his voicemail.
I'm sure he
I mean, what do
will.
you?
I'm sure he would love that. Like when I
See if he
get
calls me back.
salespeople that pitch me in my voicemail, I love that.
Yeah. Do you ever call him back?
No, because they left a voicemail telling me they're pitching me on something I didn't ask to be pitched on. I hit block number. I know definitively not to call them back.
Hmm. Interesting.
That's just how I do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I try to put the emphasis like in the process that I teach teams
Yeah.
is put the emphasis on a live conversation with someone where they don't have pretense. So that brings up a question for you, Ryan. How often in your campaigns are you doing the air cover, the emails before you call, and then you reference the email? A lot of people are like, "Oh, that's how
Yeah.
you do it. It's warm calling, not cold calling." And I've never really seen that work out very well, to be honest.
I don't ever think so. First of all, it depends on the service level that they choose. So our basic packages are just calling, but they can choose to have excuse me. They can choose to have email and they can choose to have LinkedIn as additional to create that omni channel. That's all we do is call, email, LinkedIn.
Uh-huh.
But for any call, we do leave voicemail. And you know, I don't necessarily mind. I would probably, differ on that voicemail where if I'm going to say, hey, you know, whatever his name was, hey Sam, can you call me back? Um, I'm not probably a fan of that one because it's as if they knew you, but they really don't. So I don't mind doing that. I mean, I've gotten calls back where they said, "Hey, we're actually looking for." Actually, I think I have it on YouTube where someone called back and said, "Hey, we're actually looking for this service. I'm glad that you called us," and ended up going to several meetings and a proposal. But I don't have a lot of data on voicemail, so
Yeah.
I can't say what the best is, and I wish there was more on it.
Yeah. I mean, just to Steven's question here, it's one thing that I've actually seen done fairly well is ringless voicemail. Have you ever seen that? You can plug in like 500 cell phone numbers into a service and it'll just drop
Yeah.
voicemails in all 500 of them. just like that, like an
Well,
email.
just be careful with the laws on that one.
I don't know if it's legal. I'd probably assume it's not legal. Is it legal?
Cannot confirm or deny on this call.
If we're talking about things that are illegal, you should also not be text messaging B2B contacts. Just so everyone else out there knows. Every few months on LinkedIn, I feel like it goes full, like it comes around. The old, some influencer or consultant or rep who has a following puts out a thing saying, I added something to my outbound cadence and it transformed the way I do it. I'm text messaging people. And then people go, oh my God, really? We can text message? It's like, no, it's heavily illegal. Like it's very illegal.
You have to have opt-in.
Yeah, your company can get so screwed financially.
Yeah.
For you text messaging when people don't ask for it. Now, the caveat there is like if you're a salesperson in a deal, and I've talked to Ryan and I know you, and I feel like I have a one-to-one connection with you. Yeah,
opt-in. Yeah,
that counts as an opt-in. You could argue in court that's an opt-in. Hey, we had a meeting. I know Ryan. We've talked to. Here's our emails back and forth.
Hi, right? Bill. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line, where we do cold call appointment setting for automation companies. And I was just giving you a call to see if you have. Oh, you're at a meeting. I'm so sorry. Can I call back at the same time tomorrow? Thank you. In a meeting, but he answered.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's
so
something
call back tomorrow at the same time.
Something that we talk about a lot on this show, which is the paradox. If you're in a meeting and you're busy, why'd you pick up the phone? People will continue to pick up the phone when they can't talk. It just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, sounds like the meeting was boring.
Yeah.
Is that what I should say next? Is it a boring meeting? Is that why you picked up the phone?
That's one of the spicy
No,
ways.
I'm not saying that.
I'm glad you didn't say, well, hey, do you just have 30 seconds? Do you just have 30 seconds to get my pitch out? I'm not a fan of that.
No, because just like that guy the first time, like the airport guy, he said, no, I don't want anything, right? And I said, we don't know what we do. And, obviously, just wanted some time to speak with you about it. He's like, well, I'm jumping on an airplane. I was like, oh, well, let's not talk right now then. How about tomorrow? He's like, yeah, call me back. And then he answered. And you guys heard that. So
yeah,
I'd much rather have that, set it for other time than, kill it right there. Because you won't get that time again.
That's right. All right, man. Well, we are at about time here. Thank you so much once again for coming on here, Ryan. Where can people find you? Where can they learn from you? What's a call to action for you?
Yes. So superhumanprospecting.com if you are in need of outsourced sales services. Still building some of the consulting side, but we have some script writing that we do for those who are looking for cold call scripts that we would write for our team and ones that I call from. This book, Trust Call, just came out this summer. It has 3 script frameworks that we will utilize depending on the market. And I think it's helpful just to have a structure that you can follow regardless of what opener, whatever you have, so that you can have a quality conversation. So those are the different places. I'm on LinkedIn trying to post a bit more these days. So find me there or on a soccer field in Philadelphia if you're out this way.
Soccer field in Philadelphia is where I would go if I was really trying to find you. I know you'd be there. Awesome. Well, thank you once again for coming on the show, man. It's been a blast. Last shout out here to our sponsor, ConnectAndSell. If you guys haven't tried ConnectAndSell, it's a live conversation platform, really effortless. You hit go and you get connected to people that you want to talk to. So go check out ConnectAndSell. And everybody, I will be back in 2 weeks for more live cold calls. Thank you all for hopping on calls.